One of the things we learned was how to analyze a film script, so looking at the structure, looking at the characters, looking at what the stakes are, and an important thing that you come away with is the ability to articulate that. So then when you're working in Los Angeles, you can say not just that a script is good or bad, but why.
The thing that I most took away from it was how to take a note and how that helped my own writing and how to learn from the notes and make it something that I still want it to be and something I believe in while addressing the notes.
People can tell you how to write and they can tell you how to string together sequences and stuff like that, but actually learning about cause and effect and motivations for characters and how they affect story from beginning to end. I mean, so many kids come out of film school and don't know how to tell a story. They know how to make, visually arresting images and stuff like that, but if you don't know how to story, it's all innate of nothing.
When I came to BU, I hadn't had any undergraduate experience in screenwriting, and I was pretty much new to the whole thing. I had read maybe 1 or 2 books on it and was well versed in other styles of writing, but really needed to learn the fundamentals. So that's really what I was looking for, anything from act structure to character arcs, and mainly keeping a theme present throughout all of your pages, whether it be in features or in television.
I've learned how to talk about screenwriting in very practical terms. It's not about whether or not I like a script or it's a movie I would want to see, but rather what's working, what's not working.
One of the things we learned is how to give constructive feedback in analyzing a script, and that's important because there aren't that many people who could just jump into a job or an internship and knowing how to break down a script, give the writer feedback that they can work with in a nice, professional way.
What does Ernest Hemingway say? Never share your writing with another writer, but I don't think you can avoid it in this case, and I think it's actually good in terms of refining your abilities and your skills, finding your voice, because you have these people who are competitive, but they're also checking you all the time, forcing you to get better.
And being around other creative people definitely helped, people that were writing like me and that you could go to for feedback. I didn't have that at all where I came from, and so it was really nice to be in a community of people, not only professors, but also other students that really cared about the writing and wanted to help you get better at your craft.
It's really hard to move from East Coast to West Coast on your own, but you make these friends in the grad program that are all interested in the same things, and you have a support system when you move out here.
We had such a camaraderie amongst each other, and when we got out here, it just transferred.
It's the people you were sitting next to in class that are the ones who are going to help you find a job, which is nice. And then it's also nice to have the shared experience of being in Boston and coming out and starting over in LA.
I remember the day after I moved, I started an internship at Ben Stiller's Red Hour Films. And I did that for about 4 months. That was intern boot camp. That's what they call it. It was brutal. I mean, they really train you. And I was splitting my time between there and NBC's The Office as a PA on set.
Learning to write coverage was great. That was a really nice thing to go into Los Angeles already knowing how to do. People will read it and just know that you know what you're talking about, which is, puts you leaps and bounds ahead of the other assistants or interns.
I really wanted to focus in television, so having that option through electives to study both sitcom and drama, I really gravitated towards that.
It gave you 2 years to write, which I didn't have before that. I was working during the day and trying to write during night, and it was really tough.
Getting the feedback from your classmates is very much similar to when you're getting feedback from your coworkers and your boss.
BU really taught us what to expect when we started our internships, and when we entered the workplace, I felt very ready and comfortable and confident that I would be able to do the things that my supervisors would ask me.
My first job out in Los Angeles was working as a personal assistant, which I did for about 2 months, and that's long enough.
I came on here for the BU in LA semester and interviewed for a drama pilot that was being written through an actual BU alum, and interviewed for that and became their research intern. And then when that got picked up to pilot, I was brought on as their PA, and then it got picked up to series for the first season, and I was the writer's assistant, and luckily for season 2 they brought me on as a staff writer.
I went to Barnes & Noble and poked through books for about 3 hours on a Friday night and found this book that had just actually come out called A Bright and Guilty Place. I brought it back to my apartment, read it, and found an unbelievable true story that I took to them and pitched to them the next Monday, and they went with it. And so that's what the writer that they've hired is now writing. So I think that's what ended up getting me the job that I have now. So it's been a pretty cool experience. So it just says, if you're given an opportunity, go above and beyond, and speak up always. Even if there's that person in the office that's telling you not to, always speak up, because what's the worst that can happen?